Sometimes the problem isn't simply an invasive plant or animal. It can be something that they carry, like a disease-causing fungus. The crayfish plague arrived here in the summer of 2017, and it spreads fast. I went to meet Dr. Fran Igo, who works with the local Water and Communities Office. A fisherman told him about some crayfish in the river that seemed to be dying off, so Fran went to investigate.
He looks sick. This guy here is not behaving normally. He should be able to right himself and walk off my hand. So he must be at the early stages of being infected. If this plague is transferred to other catchments, we'll see this happen to the other crayfish and we'll all die off.
How long did it take to figure out what the problem was?
Well, the die-off was very dramatic, so straight away people were suspicious that it was crayfish plague, because that's how it works. You know, you get 100% mortality and you get a big wipeout very, very quickly. So Tip County Council, Inland Fisheries Ireland and National Parks, they gathered up samples and sent them on to the Marine Institute, and within 2 weeks they had confirmation that the disease was actually this crayfish plague. They looked at the DNA and they confirmed, yes, it's crayfish plague, and that's when things really kicked in with regards to trying and stop its spread.
In the Suir, 300,000 crayfish were killed off, nearly overnight. The plague probably would have spread further if there hadn't been such a quick reaction by the local Water and Communities Office. Anglers, canoeists and all the people who use and enjoy the river were alerted. Information was put out through social media and signs were mounted all along the river. Events had to be cancelled. Because of this, it seems the disease has been contained. I really hope that everyone keeps up this effort.
How did the plague get here, do we know?
We don't actually know, Anja, how it got here. The worst case scenario would be if somebody deduced a non-native crayfish, because they're carriers of the plague. But we believe that maybe the spores themselves might have been deduced, you know, with wet equipment. We don't know how, and we're keen not to start pointing finger at any particular group, because essentially we all have to take responsibility and we all have to follow the biosecurity protocols. Really, it's a wake-up call for everybody to play their part in ensuring that, you know, we protect what is unique to this country.
Our rivers are amazing habitats. They're full of wildlife.
There is loads of life. There's a mayfly, there's caddisfly larvae, there's lots of different snails, there's loads of different algae and plants.
And we have one of the largest surviving populations of white-tailed crayfish in Europe.
And I know that there are crayfish here. Crayfish are a keystone species. There's lots of things that they eat. There's things that eat them. So the herons and the otters all depend on the crayfish. If they're removed from the ecosystem, the effects will ricochet right up through the system. I really hate to think that the crayfish might be lost from a stream like this and from streams all over the country if this plague spreads.
Invasive aliens are causing enormous problems in our rivers and lakes. It's really crucial that we stop them from spreading. We made a big effort to contain foot and mouth disease. The same type of approach we took then is needed now to stop these aquatic invasives from wreaking havoc in our rivers and lakes.
Why am I doing this then, Martin?
Well, it's very important for any water user that when they come off the water and we don't really know what you could be carrying. There are so many things in water bodies that when they're moved to other water bodies, they can become a real hazard. It's really important to disinfect everything that you use, including boats, engines, trailers, all fishing gear, especially before you go to another water body.
Equipment like fishing rods, wellies and canoes all need to be cleaned really well so that spores or fragments of invasive plants aren't carried from one river to another. This means cleaning off mud, drying your gear properly, as well as disinfecting. All of these actions are necessary for biosecurity.
Are we more vulnerable as an island to invasive species?
We're more vulnerable. We're a small country, and without biosecurity, certainly the potential for spread is enormous. Being a small country, these species, be they plants, be they animals, be they fish, can move much more readily and expand throughout the whole of the island. But being an island gives us a very significant advantage if we're bold enough to take it. And that advantage is we can and should be putting a ring of steel around Ireland, saying nothing in, nothing that's alien to Ireland should be allowed get in. Regrettably, that's not the case at the moment, and species are able to enter through customs and other methods. But to me, that's not good enough. Prevention is better than cure, and it's an awful lot cheaper.
It's really up to all of us to play our part in keeping invasive aliens at bay. There's just so much at stake. Biosecurity is key, and failure is not an option.